It's cigar time. Welcome back. Your Tuesday night show about the art and the love of cigars. And we are still #1 in the world and the United States. Or I guess it's the United States and the world. Norway is creeping up. Those long winters, they're smoking more. So guys, we got to stay
I
ahead.
heard Constantinople has a show on there.
That's Turkey.
Yeah.
I think they call it something else now. I don't
Istanbul.
think I think it's just
It's
Istanbul.
always be Constantinople for
But
me.
it looks like Istanbul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once again,
Humor
off
is,
to a brilliant start.
humor is not our long suit. Matter of fact, none of us have a suit.
Oh my God.
Can we
Well,
start
we
over?
want to start out bad. This is the way to do it.
Downhill.
Right.
And we are #1 because of you.
Absolutely.
And I think all of us, on behalf of Cigar Time and the whole Cigar family, wish to thank you for your viewership and especially for your patronage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I guess we should get to cigars. What do you think?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think so.
Our first cigar will be introduced by the lovely Miss Tia, who will tell us all about it.
Oh, thank you. Our first cigar is the Flor Dominicana 700 Maduro. The wrapper is Ecuadorian, the binder is Dominican, and the filler is Dominican. The size is a 6.5 by 60, so it's a little bit bigger than a Gordo. The flavor profile is wood and coffee beans, sweet notes, and a spicy finish. So let's see if it tastes like that.
It's probably
Very
worth,
nice.
probably worth noting that this is the size we're viewing is the 6.5 by 60, but it comes
Right,
with
it
a
comes in
whole
other
Yeah.
sizes.
Exactly.
plethora of sizes.
Ooh, big word.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Especially the
And-
chisel. I love the chisel.
Can I use your cutter, Rob?
And by the looks of the cigar,
I'll use it.
and from what little I do know actually about it, it's a good cigar to have at breakfast time with your Rice Krispies. Really?
No, this looks like
That
it's more
must be
for
why
a
they
steak
call it
dinner.
double Lajero. You know,
Snap, crackle,
I
pop.
think it's interesting to note that La Flor is one of the best examples of companies that have completely reinvented themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, 10 years ago,
Well,
La
actually,
Flor
more than
was
10 years.
absolutely known for super mild
Right.
Connecticut wrapped Dominicans, and this is about as far away from that as you can get.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Although
It's a tough one to smoke this early in the morning.
What is that? 7:30 at night.
It's 7:30 at night. It's not in the
Talking
morning.
about?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
He slept late today.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in cigars, you completely lose track of time, and you know we're super
I
dedicated.
got that AM PM thing mixed up. I thought it was 7:30 in the morning.
That's better than AC/DC. Okay,
It's nighttime savings time.
Paul, what are you going to ruminate and edify us with today?
Well, you know, I wanted to talk about something that people talk about and ask about often, and sometimes they think they understand, but they're not sure.
Where the men's room is?
Well, I'm definitely sure about that.
Okay.
People talk about long filler cigars, they talk about short filler cigars, they talk about sandwich cigars, and for a lot of people it's not entirely clear what the exact differences are and what the pluses and minuses are. So I thought I'd give a little time to that. Basically, a long filler cigar is very easy to understand. It's a cigar made out of full leaves of tobacco. So from end to end in the cigar, each leaf is pretty much continuous. And since the last time I cut up a cigar, people seem to really enjoy that, except Art because he pays for them. I thought I would do it again. So what I'm going to
It's
do
the
here,
sadist in people.
I am. I'm known as a sadist.
That was a pretty straight line.
I was going to say, that's not bad, Paul.
Well, that's because
I'm impressed.
this is purportedly a long filler cigar.
The
And
moment of truth.
Yeah, we'll find out.
well, no, as you can see, other than where I break it,
Well, we make them, so.
the leaves are full long pieces, not just the binder, the whole thing. If I don't break it up completely, you can see each piece is full length. They might not all be pretty, but they're all full size. What a mess. So that's a long, boy, that's, I'd like to smoke that. So, no. So that's
late
basically, that's what a long filler cigar looks like on the inside.
Now, Paul, Since we need to really sell these things, would you mind putting it back together?
If I did that, I mean, I have rolled cigars, but trust me, with my shaky hands, if I rolled one for you, you would not want to smoke it.
You know, you said that, it made me think of, hey, we have cigar glue. And it made me think, I had a customer who, I don't know, he cut it too short, the wrapper was coming off. He actually asked for tape.
What?
I was like, you know what? Fine. Here's your tape. I gave a piece of Scotch tape. He smoked the cigar with a piece of Scotch tape, holding it together.
Oh my God.
At what point?
Wow.
Where was the cigar coming apart? I hope by the foot.
Yeah.
Oh, so how does Scotch tape?
No. Actually,
By the head.
At the head of the cigar.
Yeah, so he wasn't
Like
smoking
right
the
up-
Scotch
like
tape.
right
So he
about here.
wasn't smoking the tape.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
You know him, too.
Oh my God.
Don't tell us.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know either.
I don't want to think less of him.
Oh, you can't.
Okay.
Okay, so what is short filler and where does short filler come from? People generally know the idea of short filler is it's small pieces of tobacco that either that come from somewhere and are short filler or are short pieces. But I want to explain a little bit about how short filler comes into existence. In order to do that, I'm going to take a whole leaf. And if you were a cigar maker and you were making a bunch, you would take some full length and you would lay them together and you would bunch them in your hands like that. You might break off the piece so that it's a little more symmetrical lengthwise. And when the whole bunch was complete, what you would be doing is chopping off the end, and then it would go in the mold.
The binder.
Then you'd wrap it in a binder. Thank you.
Nah, dynamite.
Huh?
Nice.
Thank you.
And then you'd have a cigar. The point being, when you were done doing that, you would have this all over your rolling
Oh,
table.
I see where he's going.
Yeah.
You
And
just figured his house.
I'll give you
No.
$50 if you smoke that what you just made.
Oh my God.
it'd be easier to smoke a $50 bill than to smoke what I just made. The other part of where that short stuff comes from is if you took a wrapper leaf, let's pretend for the moment this is a wrapper leaf, the way the cigar maker would work is he would take his chaveta, which is the cigar knife, and he would cut the strip that he needed to use to then roll the wrapper around the cigar. And once again, there would be those little strips left over from where he cut it.
Mm-hmm.
In the old days, at the end of the day, all of this got pushed off onto the floor, and scary as this might sound, although people don't do this anymore, they would then sweep up the floor and put all of that in a bin. And for really, really cheap cigars, they would just take that, whatever was there, and use it as filler. And I kid you not, that included things like chicken feathers and dust and sawdust and whatever else happened to be on the floor,
Kitty
along
litter.
with all of these piles of tobacco. Of course, those days are gone. Mostly. So now all of this cuttings, we'll call it, or trimmings, are carefully collected and stored. And they can be used to roll a cigar. And depending on what cigar was being made when all of this trimming was being trimmed, it might be very, very good tobacco, and it might have superb flavor. You will still have some construction issues about short filler cigars. Because it's made up of little pieces, there can sometimes be a tendency for little bits of tobacco to come out in your mouth. So one of the things that manufacturers do to help make a short filler cigar better in terms of the smoking experience is they'll put two binders on it. So you have your clump of short filler, and then you have one binder,
I don't know where it went.
one binder, and then you have another binder. That holds everything tighter together so there's less likelihood of loose pieces of tobacco coming out.
Does it help it burn even? More even also?
It will help it burn more even because as air moves through the spaces between short filler, there's a tendency for some parts to get hotter and some parts to burn slower. Another approach to using the double binder is not to put both of them on the outside, but to make in effect, a mini bunch of short filler, wrap it in a binder, put some more short filler, wrap that in a second binder, and then put a wrapper around the whole thing. And you might have heard of that technique. It's called a Cuban sandwich. And it's called a sandwich because you've got layers of long filler binder and short filler in effect, or long leaf binder and short leaf filler. There are also cigars that are called mixed filler. And I could be cutting up more cigars if you want me to be, or not, to show...
One more is good.
Try to use a less expensive one.
Well, here, this is a classic, it's called a factory reject, or something like that. This is going to be a short filler.
So what you're saying is we sell factory rejects?
I didn't say we sell this cigar.
I said that's what it's called.
Ah.
Just so everybody understands, probably 95% of the cigars we sell in our stores are what's commonly called long fill. Some of the bargain cigars, which I think is a nice way of putting it, they may be sandwiches or in some cases, although not many, short fill. We don't sell actually too many short fill cigars. They're mostly sandwich cigars or what they call mixed fill.
It's still premium tobacco, though. It's still the best.
Oh, it's
Well, it all depends
Yeah.
on what was being made when the trimmings were trimmed,
Yeah.
and how careful the manufacturer is about keeping one batch separate from another.
I think for the most part they do, because any of the short filler or mixed fillers I've had, they're pretty consistent.
Like a quorum.
Yeah, I
That
mean, the
one?
tobacco's still pretty good. I mean, any of these
Yeah.
cigars are much better than a Philly Blunt or a Garcia.
Or
Oh my
a
God,
machine
well,
made,
that's
and we'll
machine
come
cigar.
to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But
Mass-produced
guys,
cigars.
if you want to see what short filler is as opposed to broken up long filler,
Yeah, you can definitely
this
see
is
the
what
difference.
this cigar is full
So
of.
how do they
Wow.
go about putting that cigar together? I've always wondered, like, you got these sprinkles of tobacco. How do you?
Some of it can be done by
And
machine.
the binder
I mean,
looks
it's easy to
different
see
as
when you
well
have
too.
But see, a lot of those types of cigars are made by machine.
The binder looks different as well too.
These aren't, are they?
That binder
This
looks
is
a
not.
lot better than the other
Yeah,
binder.
exactly.
They have to use a much thicker binder
Yeah.
on a short
Okay.
filler, on a pure short filler cigar, just to really hold it together. The other thing is, even on the handmade short fillers, not the machine made, instead of just doing it by hand, and if you've seen them, they all use those machines
Right.
that are like the old cigarette rolling
Right,
machines. That's like a leather strap, and because that holds all the little pieces really tight.
So what do? Put the binder down and just sprinkle?
Sprinkle it, and
Yeah.
it's like
Sprinkle
making a big
back.
cigarette.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually sounds like it's more time consuming.
No, once people get good at it, they're
Yeah.
really
Really?
fast. There is another version of this where people will take some pieces of long filler, not a binder, but some pieces of long filler and sprinklings of short filler, and put it together like a regular cigar. Those are called mixed filler. And I guess that's kind of self-evident. It's a mixture of long and short. There is one more thing. And this is something that you might have heard of, you might not have heard of. If you've heard of it, you probably don't know what it is. It's called picadura. And some people refer to picadura as if it was short filler, but it's not. Picadura is actually very, very small leaves. It's whole leaves, but they're very small. They're usually picked from up near the top of the plant, or they're small sucker leaves that grow off the side of the plant, and they pick them away. They're not usually used for blending purposes. They're just another way to fill the cigar up. And that's called picadura.
Who uses that?
There are picadura versions of a lot of brands of cigars.
Really?
And there are also... There are a lot of cigars that are long filler cigars that if you cut them open, you would find whole, some mixed, some whole little leaves. That's just, nothing goes to waste.
We do have a few cigars. I want to say one of them, but I don't want to make.
Yeah,
I don't want
if
to say
you're
that
not
it is.
sure, don't say.
I'm not positive, but they're good premium cigars that have the picadura in it.
Paul, you know, as you described initially, that most of these cigars are made from the tillings of premium cigars, but aren't there some, you know, bargain price cigars that the tobacco is actually grown for that purpose?
Yes, there are. And
We don't have to mention names. But
no, but there are cigars where the tobacco is specifically grown for short filler. Believe it or not, the vast majority of that tobacco is grown in Colombia,
Yeah.
which would surprise you unless you knew that some of the biggest machine cigar making operations in the world are actually in Colombia. Most people don't know that. That tobacco that's grown for that purpose is also not just rolled up the normal way. It's usually ground in big grinders so that the consistency of the tobacco is more even. So you don't get big clumps and little clumps. They grind it to a certain gauge, and that way all of it is the same. If you go down that continuum, there's one more level of tobacco for, well, it's not exactly short filler. In a way, I would say it's worse than short filler. It's called homogenized tobacco. It's called extruded tobacco. And basically what that is they take short filler, they take sometimes some stabilizer chemicals like starch. Sometimes they take actually shredded newsprint. And all of that is run through grinders with steaming hot water and squeezed out through giant steel rollers like paper. And that comes out in sheets that are hundreds of feet long. And then there are machines that actually roll that up into cigars. To me, calling that tobacco is kind of like calling bologna a steak.
it sounds similar to how they make cigarettes.
Very, very much
Yeah,
so.
I've seen that slurry. They're wearing gas masks when they're in the room.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, Paul, thank you very much. That was very illuminating.
Now, do I get to smoke all this
You
in a
get
pipe?
to smoke it all.
Get it in the pipe.
Put it in the pipe and smoke it.
Give it to Uncle Max. He'll smoke it.
You'll smoke anything.
Yeah, well.
Well, I think it's time for us to review our LaFleur. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Time
We're
for
going
me
to
to
start.
smoke it.
We're going to start out with. Okay, we'll start out with Scott.
Okay. It's beautiful construction on the cigar. The sheen on this wrapper is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a very popular cigar. It's Dominican and it's strong, and it's not one of my favorites. Just not a. I don't like a lot of Dominican cigars that try to be really strong. I just find it a little
Strong.
lacking in taste. It's strong, but it doesn't have a lot of the flavor that I personally like.
Rob.
Okay. I agree with you that the wrapper is beautiful. It's a
Isn't it?
gorgeous, gorgeous wrapper. The size is not to my liking. It's a little too big for me.
But they make it in different
They
sizes.
make it in different sizes, but I'm just saying this cigar right here. I do get the wood taste to it. I get the coffee bean to it. I agree with Scott. It's not my favorite. It is very powerful. It's a double Lajero. It's a good cigar. It is a good cigar, but it's not one of my favorite cigars from LaFleur. There are other cigars that I like from that line.
I was just going to say some of their like again
Their other
when it's
stuff.
Dominican, and I typically like a fuller bodied cigar, but when it comes to Dominican, I like milder. Their Suave is fantastic.
Right, yeah, they have
That's a
much
great
better
cigar.
cigars, in my opinion. This puts out a ton of smoke, as you can see.
Yeah. Sorry.
Smoke Eater is having a hard time keeping up with it, but it is a good cigar. So,
It might
Okay.
might be interesting to note that the LaFleur cigars in particular, Lito Gomez breeds and grows his own fillers, so that all of the full-bodied Lajero LaFleurs have a very distinctive flavor that's universal to all of them. That's kind of the Lito Gomez signature flavor.
right.
And there are other things that go in and other flavors that happen, but that little note is always there.
Okay. Who's next?
Tia?
I gotta agree with everything they're saying, except the fact I do like this cigar. I like the size. I notice a lot of the LaFleur Dominicana and this double Lajero have a nice sheen to it. Just about every cigar in the box. When I first lit it up, I thought it had a nice sweet taste to it. As you get a little bit closer towards the middle, it's getting a little bit spicier. I get the wood, definitely the coffee bean. I think it's a high medium. I don't think it's really that powerful. It's not overtaking me. I'm handling it pretty well.
You're tough.
Yeah, I'm tough.
You're
So
tough
I
blood.
think it's like a high medium. I think it has a nice taste to it. Leaves a nice taste in my palate, on my palate. So I like this one.
I'm definitely feeling the taste and feeling the smoke without, you know how you can feel it through your whole mouth as opposed to just
absolutely.
one specific part.
Yes.
So it's in terms of the body, it's certainly
And it is
full.
a lot of smoke.
I guess it's up
There's
to
a
me
lot of
now.
smoke.
It's a lot of
Or
smoke.
Paul.
That's the fun part.
Oh, Paul.
You want me to go now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I like the cigar a lot. I do pick up the coffee and a little bit of sweetness, and of course there's spiciness, but I'm going to come back to that. There is one element to the flavor of this cigar that I don't like. It's kind of a charred sort of taste. Almost, they say wood, I say burnt wood. It almost has that, and that's the element that I don't like. The wrapper is magnificent.
Yeah.
I should point out that some people I know in Ecuador have been selling La Flor this wrapper for many, many years. And
Do we know those people?
Yes.
yes, yeah, one of them is sitting here. So I'm very
Scott, yeah.
I'm very partial to the wrapper, and that's where the spicy finish comes from. It's that Ecuadorian tobacco always delivers that kind of spice.
All right, I guess it's me now.
It is.
Can't disagree with much of what's been said here, although I disagree with T. I think this is a more fuller body cigar. And I think it's a beautifully made cigar. The sheen is definitely there. It is a very, very popular cigar.
Very
Yeah,
popular.
absolutely.
I mean, if you like a fuller body, beautiful big cigar, this is one of the hottest cigars on the market, literally and figuratively. Price point is not bad for a cigar this size. And I believe, don't we have an event this coming
we do.
weekend?
Absolutely do. This weekend on Friday from 11 to 3 in Horsham, and then we're going to switch to Colmar from 4 to 8.
I think it's 11. It's 12 to 3.
12, my bad, 12 to 3. That's right. Freehold on Saturday is 11 to 2, and then we're going to switch over to Oxford Valley from 3:30 to 7 o'clock. So have lots of really cool specials. In fact, the special we're doing this week is go to our website, which is cccigars.com. That's double C cigars.com. And we'll have a coupon. And if you bring that coupon to one of these events, you will get a free cigar. You will get, I'm not exactly sure which one it is, but it's a free La Flor.
Kyle's going to bring it.
It'll be a good one.
Kyle Shacken's going to, it will be a good one. And in addition, bring the coupon and you will get an additional 10% off of a box.
Off the already discounted.
Right.
price.
They already
So
discounted.
like a double discount.
Yeah, boxes are already discounted. You're going to get an extra discount, but have to bring the coupon, whether it's something you print from the website or you bring it in on your smartphone.
And it's an this is not just an event for this cigar, it's an across-the-board La Flor event.
Exactly.
All models of La Flor.
Yes.
Yeah, and I will add that I mentioned that typically I don't like a stronger Dominican cigar. There is one from La Flor, the Cabinet Maduro, that I absolutely love. And
Oh,
it's
They make cigars for every taste.
they absolutely do.
You won't be lost trying to find something you like.
We sell.
No.
I think it's time now to rate this cigar.
Okay.
We'll start with Paul.
I give it a 4.5. I like it a lot.
Scott?
I'll give it a 3.9.
Wow.
I'll sort of middle it out. I'll go 4 1/4.
I give it a 4.
I give it a 4.5. I
All
agree
right.
with Paul.
So that's 4.09.
No, it's 4.15.
No, it's 09. It's 09. Do the math.
It's Formula
I did.
409.
Do the math.
I did it.
Now you did.
He faked it.
Where are we now? I think it's time to
I don't know.
discuss the Phillies.
How about them fightings?
Yeah, about them Titans. Off to a start.
Do we really have to talk about them?
Yeah.
Why not?
They,
Hey,
they
it's
didn't exactly
April.
have a great preseason, did they?
They're going no, they did not. They're
No.
going to be hard to watch.
But you know what?
Yeah, I know.
All you need to do is do your homework. Go back to the years when they won the World Series or were in the World Series and see how they did during the spring.
They did horrible.
Horrible.
That's the. I mean, you know what? You're right. I always say preseason doesn't mean anything, and whether it's pro football, hockey, basketball, baseball, it doesn't mean anything.
And remember-
they just
Basketball.
don't look strong.
This year's baseball season for the Phillies may just be a lead up to the Eagles.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
It's something to do to watch before the
You got to
Eagles.
kill a little time before the Eagles come
Let's
back.
hope so.
Leapt through that one.
They're going to be hard to watch. They really are.
Yeah.
I think you may be pleasantly surprised.
I hope I am.
You know what? As long as if they're exciting, if they don't win a lot of games, but they're fun to watch and exciting, I can almost be okay with that. If Howard comes back and Utley, if they're hitting long balls, at least it'll be something to watch.
There are too many ifs in this.
I'll
Big
predict between Utley, Rollins, and the big stick, big piece, whatever they call
20
it.
home runs.
I'll predict between them.
10.
Between them, and this is being recorded on camera, I will predict between them 75 home runs.
What? Not a chance.
You heard it
Bet 'em.
here.
I
Bet
will
'em.
bet you. I don't bet you anything. There's no way they get 75 home
How
runs.
much would you like to bet?
There's no way.
You're talking about this
There's
season.
no way. You're
You
talking
know
this
what?
season?
You know what I love about
You're
this?
talking
You
this
guys
season
can
off.
go on
This
about the
season.
Phillies, and I can sit here and smoke my LaFleur
You
and just
enjoy
puff
that.
away, enjoy.
There's no way.
75
No way.
homers between them.
Not a chance.
You
Well,
what?
since
I say
betting's
one
illegal,
of you
we'll
have
to
to.
take this
I say
offline.
one of you have to dress up.
70?
Really
As the
funny.
fanatic.
Yeah, something.
75?
You have to grow hair. You have to shave yours.
No. I have a little souvenir hanging on my office wall that I'd like to see refreshed.
No. I'll be getting that. I'll be getting that back.
You'll
Been sitting here
never,
for 3 years.
you'll never see that again.
No.
I
There's
can't
no
imagine.
chance that happens. None.
I
All
can't
right, well, we
imagine.
heard it here. 75
Put your money where
home
your
runs.
mouth
75
We'll
home
see.
Between the 3 players.
is. Between the
By
three
the end of
players.
the-
All
by
they
the
have to
end of
do
the
is hit
season?
25 apiece. There's not a chance.
You're talking about by the end of the season.
Oh, of course.
Preseason not included.
Yeah,
Not that-
no
not that it matters.
postseason.
Well,
Well,
pre,
no
post,
postseason
no,
'cause
well,
they're not
pre's
gonna-
over.
They're not even going to
Post.
be there.
I think we ought to spend a little bit of time thanking everybody. The last 4 weeks or so, we've run some really
Yeah.
super duper specials.
Great reactions.
And you have flooded our email. We created a lot of new customers. We've gotten a lot of new emails. And as importantly, you've come into our store. You've enjoyed our lounges. You took advantage of the specials and bought hundreds and hundreds of boxes
Yeah, that's
of
awesome.
these.
At
I mean,
ridiculously
I was sold
low
out the
prices.
first
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, I mean.
You did, yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I mean, in the 4 specials that we ran, they all did very, very well. And we wish to collectively thank you very much.
It's a good
Thank
thing we
you.
included
Thank
while
you.
supplies last. I tell you that.
Yeah, while
Yeah.
supplies last. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
because
mean-
we put that in there.
Yeah, our viewership gains every week. The station keeps
Yeah.
telling us our points go up, and we're well above. Well, we're above any figure we ever dreamed of.
Yeah.
So let's leave it go at that. And you're going to see in the upcoming weeks, we're going to have some nice surprises, nice interviews, nice people that'll be on the
Great
panel.
guests.
I love
Oh, we have one
surprises.
next week.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
We do. We'll keep that in our hat. So sadly, we're running out of time. Time to say
I-
goodbye.
Is it already?
No time to talk.
Okay. Then I won't.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Smoke often and smoke happy.
It's gonna mess up.
Got
Life is too short to smoke cheap. So
Rob?
Yay!
Ciao for now, everybody.
Bye bye for now.
Remember, cccigars.com. On behalf of all of us, thank you for tuning in again. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your viewership. And we'll see you again next week.